Hey Nick, it's your Uncle Mike. Hey, a buddy of mine's coming up to your town to do some fishing next week, and I am sending this with him so that he can give you a call when he gets close, meet you somewhere in town, and hand it off to you. What it is a metal detector and some little things to go with it. There's the owner's manual. This is a little fines pouch to keep some junk or whatever you find in while you're hunting. A little pair of headphones. These aren't the best quality, but they're better than just using the speaker on the machine. And this is a screwdriver that I ground the end off of, and I use it as a probe to probe in the ground. You know, once you pinpoint a target, you can kind of feel for it with that probe. And then this Wilcox digger. This is a really good, solid, sturdy digger. I've had one of these for 15 or 20 years, and they're really durable, so I'm going to send that to you to do your digging with. And then this is the metal detector. It's a Tesoro Conquistador, and I've had this machine probably for, I'm guessing, 10 years or so. It's been a really good machine for me. I bought it for competition hunting. I bought it because it's super lightweight, and I can swing it fast, and I can swing it pretty well all day with no fatigue at all. So I'm going to run you through the basic controls of this metal detector so that you have a better idea of how to use it rather than just reading a manual. So, looking at the display here, you'll notice there's some tape over the speaker. Apologize, it looks kind of cruddy, but that speaker is really loud, and at one point my headphones had broken. So I covered that up to just kind of dampen the noise. And you'll hear it when I turn it on. Even with the tape, it's still pretty loud. So our basic controls here, let's start with the turn on and go knob. This knob right here that says sensitivity below it is not just a sensitivity knob, but it's also the power knob. So sensitivity from 1 to max, and the max is in that red area. You would turn that sensitivity up as far as you can without the machine making a bunch of chirping and chattering noises. We call them false signals. You just back that down just a little bit until the false signals go away, and then hunt with that. The switch just directly below that is the all metal retune and discrimination mode switch. Okay, so what this means, we have the ability to discriminate out some junk, and that is the far right position of this switch. Discrimination mode. Right? See it? All metal mode, just like the name implies, you will find, the detector will pick up every piece of metal that is in the ground below it, no matter what your discrimination level is set at. All metal. It just means you're going to find everything. Nails, pop cans, the whole bit. Then this retune thing, it has another feature you can see in the manual, but what I use it for, you see it's a momentary, right? I'll push it over to the left, and then it naturally returns to the all metal mode. What I use this for when I'm hunting is once I find a target, I will move that to the left and use it to pinpoint where my target is in the ground, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, so moving over to this side of the machine, we have the discrimination level knob. Okay, this knob also goes from, say, 0 goes up to 9, and there are no markings on here, but what this thing does is as you turn it up, it discriminates out certain pieces of metal. So, like say, if you had it all the way to the left, that would be the equivalent of all metal. You're going to find everything. It's not discriminating out anything. So if you turned it up to, say, about 3 or 4, you're going to eliminate most iron, but you're still going to pick up things like pop tabs and pieces of aluminum, you know. So if you move it up to, say, 6.5 or 7, you could discriminate out a lot of the aluminum pull tabs and pick up mainly coins and high brass targets, things like that. But here's the warning I would give you on turning it up too far. If you turn it up to eliminate pull tabs and aluminum, you are also going to eliminate and discriminate some gold rings, especially smaller ones. So if you want to find gold, you kind of got to keep that turned down. Trade-off is you're going to dig a lot of junk. But You got to dig the junk to get the good stuff. The threshold knob down here, there's a background hum when you're in all metal mode. That background hum needs to be turned down to it till it's barely audible in your headphones. And then when you're in all metal, that barely audible tone will change when you go over a target. It'll get louder. And some people use that because they think it's more sensitive, or they find it more sensitive and a better way to pick up deeper targets. Okay? For me, this also comes into play when I hit this switch over here to pinpoint. That knob also controls the level of volume in my headphones of the tone when I'm pinpointing. And I like to turn it down a little bit so it's not super loud. That way I can pinpoint easier. Okay? Then there's one last switch on this you may or may not ever need, and it's on the side. You see it right there, right? That's the frequency shift. Like I said, I bought this thing as a competition hunt machine, and when you're hunting around a lot of other machines, you'll get feedback and chatter, and your coil will pick up the frequencies of the other machines near you, and it'll just make it unusable during a hunt. So this allows me to shift to 2 alternate frequencies until I find one that I'm not bothered by other machines. It works really well. You may or may not ever need that. Just leave it in the normal position. Okay? Okay, that being said, now I'm going to turn the machine on and show you how it acts. Now when we turn this thing on, you're going to hear a solid tone for a few seconds. That's normal. That's the machine going through its self-checks and whatever. Once that tone is done, you're pretty well ready to hunt. You hear that tone, right? Now the machine's ready to go. I'm going to turn the sensitivity down just a little bit because I'm not really hunting here. I'm just kind of showing you how it works. Now I'm going to start out with my sensitivity. I'm just going to go ahead and crank it up to about 6.5, 7. Like if I want to try to eliminate pull tabs and whatnot. And I'm going to stick my mode into discrimination mode. That allows these settings over here to actually work. If you have this in all metal, this over here doesn't mean anything, right? So here's what I've done. I laid out a few coins. We have a Barber $50, Barber quarter, Mercury dime, an aluminum melt token, a Catholic religious medal. This one's kind of cool. It says if anything ever happens to me, call the priest immediately on the back. And then I got a gold ring out here, right? This is my Star Sapphire. I just wanted to put that out there so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this machine over each one of these targets. Okay, I want you to hear what it sounds like. Hear that? $50. Let's see what the quarter sounds like. Wow, the same, huh? How about the dime? Same. Token? Same. Religious medal? Same. How about this ring? Hear how that's kind of choppy? Hear that choppy sound? It's not good and solid like the other ones were. That's because I have this discrimination knob set too high. So let's back that down to about 4. Now you hear that ring? This is what I was talking about. Back up with the discrimination, that ring is gone. Back down, gold ring. So like I said, if you want to find the rings, you're going to have to keep that discrimination level down, say around 4.5 to 5. Otherwise, you're not going to find them. You're just going to pop and chirp. You're going to think it's junk, and you're not going to dig them. But the other important thing here, what did you notice about all these signals? They have the same tone. This machine does not put out separate tones. Okay, a lot of machines will give a high tone for a coin, a mid-tone, say for gold or aluminum, and a low growly tone for iron. This one does not do that. It's good and it's bad. It's good because one tone keeps you in the mindset of digging more targets because you just don't know. You're not relying on your machine to tell you with a tone what it is, so you're less likely to pass up good targets, right, based on a tone. But it's bad because you're going to dig a lot more junk. But hey, that's the trade-off. So when you get this machine, it's going to be disassembled, okay? It's going to come in 3 main pieces. This black shaft here that extends up into here. You see these little push-in pins. You're going to need to push these pins in on this shaft and slide it up into this one, and then lock it down hand tight only with this lock ring, okay? This shaft here attaches to the main housing here the same way with this set of pins here, and tightens down with this lock ring here. Now this is important here, the cable. This cable is going to need to be wrapped loosely around the shaft and only hand tightened into this housing right here. If you over tighten that or use pliers, it will ruin it. You don't want any strain on this cable. See how it's nice and straight right here? It's not bent at an angle. Same thing down on this end of the machine here. You don't want this bent at a hard angle. You want it a little bit loose, but keep in mind, you don't want it so loose and so much slack down here that it hangs out and you're hooking it on things while you're sweeping the machine left and right. So that's how you're going to assemble the machine when you get it. Okay? Now I'm going to turn this thing off because we don't need to waste any more battery on that. So now one quick thing I'm going to tell you here. When you pinpoint a target, you're going to want to dig it out, right? So what I would normally do is pinpoint the target and then use this probe down in the ground till I feel the target in there, right? You want to gently put it in the ground until you feel the target, and that's after you've centered it with your pinpoint, right? Then use this trowel and just kind of make a circular pattern around your target. I'm not going to actually cut a plug here, right? You know, circular target, like the circular pattern like this here, like you would see on a golf course, you know, when they're cutting a plug for a cup. And then pull that whole plug of dirt out of the ground and check the plug, and then check the hole for your target. 2 important things when you're hunting in somebody's yard or a park or any place you want to go back. If you find junk in the hole, put it in your pouch or throw it in a trash can, right? Don't leave it in the hole. Don't throw it on top of the ground. Nobody wants to see trash laying around, and that's a good way to get kicked out. Another thing, when you dig your holes, do a very good job of putting the dirt back in the hole and covering the hole back up with as much of the turf on top as you can. Sometimes it's helpful to take a rag with you and lay a rag down next to the hole to put all your dirt on, so that all the dirt ends up getting, you know, poured back into the hole. So that's pretty important because people don't want to come out and see a bunch of holes in their yards, right? So you want to be able to come back, so do a good job of covering up your holes and you won't have any problems. So these headphones, like I said, they're not the top quality headphones. They don't have any individual volume adjustments, and this machine does not have a volume adjustment. But when you get these, there's a headphone jack on the back of the machine that you're just going to plug these headphones into, right? Just like that. Now you're ready to go. If you want to get a new set of headphones, I'd recommend calling like a Calico, Clevenger's, or your local, if you have a local metal detector dealer. Get a set that has individual volume controls on the ears so that you can either turn them up or turn them down to suit your kind of your hearing level, right? I'm half deaf, so I like them loud. And the louder they are, the more likely you are to hear the faint, deep targets. So keep that in mind. But this is a good starter set. It'll get you going. I won these in a hunt years ago, so a little freebie. But anyway, I'm going to package all this up in a box. I'm going to get it to Dana, a guy I work with. He's coming up fishing next week, and I'm going to give him your address and phone number. Hope you don't mind. And you go out, use this machine, have some fun, dig some targets, and if you decide you don't want it, just hang on to it. Next year, Dana will come back up fishing. I'll have him pick it up from you, okay? Now, if you have any questions on how to use it or whatever, you can either call me get me on YouTube. You know, my gamer tag from Xbox is my YouTube. You can search me out on my YouTube channel with that, or shoot me a message on Xbox. So, hey buddy, good luck, have fun. We'll talk to you later.